Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be making a classic Indian sweet dish known as halwa, and it's a semolina dish in English. So the packet that I have got in front of me here, if you can see that, I'm actually using the semolina fine. Just be careful to get the fine rather than the coarse, otherwise once you cook this you'll start to see a very grainy texture, and that's not what we want. So for the quantity I'm using today, I've just gone over half a glass of the fine semolina, which is in here. If you want to make more for a larger quantity of people, then I'd definitely say use a full glass of that. To that also, I'll be adding in unsalted butter. Now my butter cube here is a 250 grams, but I've actually just using today 200 grams, okay? Now if you're using a full glass, as I just mentioned, then definitely I'd say use a whole block of unsalted butter. In my little dish here, I've got some cardamom, which I've actually opened up. So you just need a little handful of that, and for those of you who may not know what cardamom is, it's the green ones here, also known as elaichi. Okay, in my saucepan here, I've just added in the butter. So we just want this to melt down before we actually add in the semolina. Right, as you can see, the butter's already melted. Now to this, I'm just going to be adding in our semolina. Make sure you get it all in. And then just give that a stir. Now at this stage, it will look like sand, that's fine, that's okay, because we want to get it cooked for at least 30 minutes. Now if you want the colour texture to change slightly, I would say you leave it a bit longer than 30 minutes. If not, on a low medium heat, let this cook down now for 30 minutes, and then we'll get back and then I'll show you the next stage. Right, as you can see, that's nicely bubbling away, and that's what exactly we want. So it's only been under 10 minutes, but we leave it for another 20 minutes, and then we'll check how that's getting on. So now that's nicely sizzling away. Now the next bit I'm going to be doing is just adding in the cardamom. Make sure you get it all in, and just give that a nice stir. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and now I'm going to be adding in the sugar, and as you can hopefully see here, it's nice and bubbling on top. It's caramel texture, and you need to be able to smell the semolina coming through before you add in the sugar. And then I'm going to leave this for at least 8 to 10 minutes before the final stage. We'll be adding the water. Now look at this texture here. As you can see, it looks like sand, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to give it 10 minutes, and then we're just going to come back for the final stage. Okay, right, that's been doing very nicely for the last 10 minutes. Now the final stage, what I'm going to be doing is adding in some hot water. Now I've already boiled the kettle, and I'm actually going to be adding in 2 cups of boiled water, and the measurements I'm using exactly the same cup that I used before. Now do be careful, because you might get a bit of splatter back, so either cover it with a lid or so forth, but just be very careful when pouring in the water, because it will sizzle up. Reduce the heat down, and then just give it a stir. Now that's lovely. Now all we just need is to slightly just thicken up a little bit, and then we're done. Right, so this is a perfect consistency. If you want this more runny, then all you just need to do is just add in some more hot water. If you want this more stiffer, then you just leave it on a higher heat, but I wouldn't suggest that, because as you can see now, as you can see, it's falling off the back of my spoon here. As this cools down, I've turned it off the heat. As this cools down, this will stiffen up. Right, so I just want to show you on my spoon here, it's nice and firm, and if you keep that in the fridge, the longer you leave it, it will just firm up. Right, the semolina pudding is nice and done, and that's firmed up. Now this next part is totally optional, you don't need to include. So I do, because I actually like the texture of nuts onto this. So in here, my dish, all I've just done is just roughly chopped up some cashew nuts, almonds, and some pistachio. And all I'm going to do is just sprinkle that nicely on top. There we are. And again, if you like currants, raisins or something, again, by all means, add that in, whatever's your choice. If not, just leave it nice and simple, and there we are. And this is good for a few days, you know, up to maybe 3 to 4 days in the fridge. Let it cool down. You can keep this in the fridge or whenever you choose, basically. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe, like and comment, and take care, guys. Bye.